Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. My name is Arwa Hilal. I work at Johns Hopkins Aramco Healthcare, and I'm a proud member of SBE KSA. On behalf of SBE KSA, I am delighted and honored to welcome you all to our webinar tonight. We're all being advised these days to protect ourselves from COVID-19. Put on your mask, follow proper hand hygiene rules, and so on. And as a passionate healthcare worker, I urge you to please continue following these instructions to protect you, your loved ones, and everyone around you. But tonight, we'll be shedding light on another kind of protection that is equally important. It's the protection of your inner self, your emotions, and mind against all unexpected changes and hardships that you may have had or continue to have as a result of dealing with this pandemic. Before I introduce you to our speaker tonight, I would like to bring to your attention that our webinar consists of 4 sections, followed by a brief Q&A session. Make sure to submit your question through the Q&A section on the screen before you. We will try to select the most commonly asked questions to be answered by Coach Nuha. Also, throughout the webinar, you'll be invited to interact with Coach Nuha. You can use raise your hand feature. You can use a raise your hand feature on the screen before you, or you can use the Q&A section if you feel more comfortable doing so. Please make sure that your speaker and mic is on before you start speaking. And now I am pleased to introduce you to Coach Nuha. Coach Nuha, who is also a dear friend of mine, has 18 years of experience in distinct domains that gave her the chance to build up her skills and knowledge. The foundation of her career in HR is in recruitment and employee relations. This experience taught her the value of human capital for any organization and helped her to learn the significance of building relationships with people. From the amazing journey she had in HR, Nuha is now working as an HCM Consultant and Advisor, besides 4 years of experience as a Certified Practitioner Coach. Nuha, the virtual floor is all yours.
Thank you, Arwa, for the amazing introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad and blessed to be here today and having those amazing people and all of those people who has joined. Inshallah, they will, hopefully you will enjoy our journey today to ourselves. I want to say something. Without Arwa, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be giving this webinar. So thank you, Arwa, so much for the initiative and so for pushing me to do it and believing on me that I will add value to everyone who just joined.
You're the most welcome. It's the collective effort, Nuha.
Thank you so much, Habibti. Okay, today, as Arwa said, that we have with the situation that we are having those days, everyone is taking care of someone. Everyone is having a partner, having a parent, having a kids, having a relative or a friend. We are taking care of everyone around us, and we are so worried about everyone around us. But we forgot that we need to take care of ourselves first. We forgot that we need to think about ourselves and our well-being. So today we will try together. But before I start, I want to just to do some alignment designing with you all. This is the first time for me to have a one-way communication webinar. I always give webinars where people interact with me. That's why I try so hard to make this also as an interact. So sometimes I will ask some questions for you guys, and you will post your answers on the chat, or if you want to say it, you can raise your hand and the you unmute yourself and say it. Every topic we're gonna talk about. After that, I will take Q&A from everyone. And thank you, Arwa, for handling this. Let's drill a new well. I will not say anything about me more than Arwa said, but I will just add one more thing. Coaching is my passion. With all the experience that I had in my life, I finally found my passion, and this is what I love to do, and I do it with love. I do it with passion. Alhamdulillah. And excuse me if I say any word in Arabic. Just bear with me. I will translate it automatically. But I get used to do Arabic and English at the same time. Hopefully, it's not a problem with everyone. Okay, our session today, it's drill a new well, and what we're gonna discuss and what we're gonna drill and dig deep for today is 4 main subjects. First subject is gonna be about the self-relationship. Self-relationship, it's something that I always direct people to think about and reflect about and look inside you and have a healthy relationship with yourself. Because if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, unfortunately, you will not be able to have any healthy relationship in your life. We always care about our relationship with our parents, with our sisters and brothers, with our peers, with our boss, with our friends, with our kids, with our wives and husbands, but we never think about ourselves. And this is one of the things that it's a major issue from my experience with my clients during my coaching journey. And then we're gonna talk about the uncertainty. Uncertainty, actually, it's what we are living right now. Unfortunately, within a day, it's less than a day, the whole world have changed, the whole universe has changed, and everything, it's new for us. The way of living, it's new. The way of the new commitment that we are responsible of, also it's new to us. We created lots of wondering and worrying through this pandemic. The third subject, it's the differentiation between the feelings and the emotions. And to be honest with you, I myself found out this just a week ago, that there is a difference between feelings and emotions. And I love to share it with you today. So you're gonna be my first audience of sharing the difference between feelings and emotions. Maybe someone of you have known this already, but for myself, it's something that I never thought about. And when I thought about it, I realized it makes sense for me. And the mental well-being. So let's start with our first subject. Me and myself. Me and myself, it's our main subject. I will call it a main subject for today, and I will give it more time than any other subject that I'm talking about. So first of all, I want to ask, the first thing about your relationship with yourself is acceptance. Acceptance, actually, it's the core of any relationship. The core of your relationship with your partner, the core of your relationship with your parents, the core of your relationship with your kids, and the core of your relationship with yourself. We accept a lot during our life. We accept our bosses, we accept our husbands or wife, the way they are, but we always forget to accept ourselves as we are, or whom we are truly is, or how we are truly is. Most of us have been raised that we need to fit ourselves in someone else standard, in someone else direction, in someone else requests, in someone else whatever they need. We make ourselves, we change ourselves. We try to fit to that puzzle that we have. But this is, unfortunately, it's an unhealthy relationship. Whatever relationship needed you to change something that you have on yourself, or something that you believe it's something good about yourself, that means it's an unhealthy relationship. Acceptance, it starts with accepting yourself. Once you know how to accept yourself, accept your mistakes, accept your good and bads, because God created us all from the same ingredients. But it's different how we use those ingredients. What makes us different is the measure of using those ingredients. And we all have this good and bad. And accepting starts from loving whom you are, the way you are. And if you have something that you don't like about yourself, then you can change it. I want to ask you all, and if you can share some opinion with me, what is acceptance for you? And I will give just only 2 minutes to receive your answers. You can just place it on the chat if you don't mind. What is acceptance for you? Or raise your hand if you don't mind. Muhammad Al-Atabi said commitment. Nice. No, contentment. Thank you, Muhammad. What else? What do you think what acceptance means to you? Being comfortable with the oneself. Yes. Existence. I like that. Expressing emotion. Being ماني ملحقة على الكومنت. Appreciating my great qualities and being okay with my flaws. That's nice. Accepting yourself with shortcoming. Okay. Acceptance for me is deal with myself as I am and to change myself for the sake of others. And to change yourself for the sake of others. Who's this? This is Omar. Considering my view. Not to change. I agree. Not to change. Okay. عدلتها يا عمر. Thank you so much. Thank you so much all for your answer. Yes. Accepting is to love ourselves as we are. And let me tell you something. Once you want to change something that you don't feel or you don't like about yourself, when you try to change it out of hate or out of dislike, it's so hard for us to change it. But when we try to change it out of love and out of care, we become more flexible. We become more driven in this change. Let me give you an example about that. Especially we women, we care about our weight, our shape, our body. What we gained weight, we need to lose weight, we need to exercise, and even men those days are into that dilemma. So most of the people that I have coached in this issue, especially, they couldn't stick on a one diet. They couldn't stick on an exercise program. Every time they start, they find a reason and they stop. They always fail in achieving that goal of losing weight or being on shape, because there was only one reason of failing in that achievement in specific, because they hated the way they look. But once they love the way they look, they start to commit and they start to work hard on themselves, and they start to work to put a program for themselves to stick to their diet, to do the exercise. and everything changed from that. So once we start to accept ourselves and love ourselves, it will be very easy for us to change the things that we don't like. And as you see from this picture, it gives you some idea about the self-care and the self-love. The second point is being kind with yourself, being kind to yourself. And this comes from the scenarios and the conversation that we have with ourselves most of the time. Most of the time we have two people are arguing inside our heads. Two people are having a conversation about in our heads. In every single thing that we do, in every single move that we move during the day, during our life. And those conversations, we have to be aware of that. What does these voices are telling us? Is it telling us, is this voice telling us something good about ourselves, or is it telling us about something bad about ourselves? And unfortunately, most of the people that they give themselves excuses that no, this is how I drive myself to be better. You cannot drive yourself to be better by criticizing yourself, by saying something bad about yourself. That's only holding you back from improving yourself and improving and being a better version of yourself. So number two, from in your relation with yourself, is being kind to yourself. And for that, I will give an example. Whatever words or argument or voice that you are hearing about yourself, before you say it, ask yourself, what if you tell your dearest friend these things? How is going to be his reaction or her reaction? What's going to happen? I'm sure they won't like it. They won't feel good about it. So this is exactly the reaction of our inner self. Even our inner self won't like it and won't be happy with it. So every time that you have to, you want to say something bad about ourselves, or this voice in your head are saying something bad about you, just ask this question to yourself. What if I'm saying this to one of my friends? What's gonna happen? How is he's going to react? And this will start, if eventually it will start to stop this voice and turn it to something good. Let go of your judgment. How many of you, or how many of us, that have a list of labels and holding it since we were kids? We always say that we know ourselves, and I always say that. Unfortunately, we don't know ourselves truly unless we have this relationship with ourselves. We know ourselves from what our moms and dads used to say about us, from what our teachers have been saying, used to say about us, my friends, my colleagues, my boss, my sisters and brothers, my relative, my aunts. This is how we create the picture and how we see ourselves and how we meet ourselves from other people's opinion and other people's judgment. But subconsciously, we hold those judgments till today. Unless you have a true relationship and a transparent relationship with yourself, then you will be aware of that judgment. And for this one, I will give you an exercise to practice. Try to have a sticky note with you, because I tried it myself, and oh my God, what I found out. Try to have a sticky note for one day, only one day, and try to state every judgment comes to your mind during the day, or every label that you are labeling yourself with every day. Let's say you get annoyed by something, or you have done something, you went you have a meeting and you done something you don't like, or something that you were not expecting. What is the judgment that comes on that moment? What is the label that you say to yourself at that moment? We always put those labels, especially when we are stressed, when we are let's say did something wrong, when we are not satisfied about ourselves or about what we are doing. Directly our subconscious go to the labels. So just state those labels and you will be surprised how many labels do you have on yourself. And for those labels too, try to stick it on someone, on one of the people around you. How would he feel or she feels if you stick those labels on them? But by creating a healthy relationship with yourself, um, you know yourself better. You know yourself the way you want to know yourself. You know yourself by your heart, by your thoughts, by your mind, without any influence of other people's opinion or judgment. One of the things that we need to be aware of too, it's notice our internal critic. Uh, some people have this opinion that I have to be hard on myself so I can achieve more to reach my goal. And they do it with this energy exactly. No, I have to be hard on myself. You become your own punishment. You become your own judge. You look for perfection. You say to yourself, no, you have to be perfect. You are not allowed to do any mistake. If you do a mistake, you start to be, you punish yourself. You being hard on yourself. You even sometimes go further and put yourself on like on a naughty corner like kids, and you don't allow yourself to forgive or allow yourself to do mistakes. We all do mistakes. Without mistakes, we will never learn. We never. Don't ever think that you can learn without having a mistake, because this is how we learn. This is how we strengthen our muscles and how we strengthen our knowledge, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings by doing those mistakes. If you go back to a childhood, maybe I always get a metaphor of a childhood, because I believe child's born instantly and clear, and they don't have those labels that we put on ourselves. Honestly, that's why I always get people to their childhood. When you start to walk, you always fail. Imagine if I keep my child, he has to walk on like holding something, or on or I'm holding him. Would he learn how to walk by himself? No, he won't. So he has to fail to know how to stand up and walk by himself. This is how he learns. And this is the nature of a human being. So be aware of the critics that you have on yourself, the internal ones, not the people saying to you, or not the people are giving to you, because we become more hardened than the people around us on ourselves. And this is one of the valid points. Avoid the selfish trap. How many of you had this when we were kids? If you don't give your brother the toy to play with, or a chocolate that you want to have for yourself, mama says, you are a selfish girl. You don't share your chocolate with your sister, so you are a selfish girl. You don't share your toy with your brother, you are a selfish boy. Or let's say you want to have if you want to have a me time, even now when we are grown, if you ask for a me time or you want to be with yourself, everyone will judge you that you are selfish, you don't care about us, you only care about yourself. And this is what we hear all the time. This is a trap. Self-care, it's not selfish. Self-love, it's not selfish. Not giving yourself the self-care and the love that you give to others and the people around you, that means you don't care about yourself, and you will not be able to give because you don't have it. If you don't start giving it to yourself, you cannot give it to others. You just try and try and try, and you will never be enough for them. Why? Because you don't have it for yourself. You are not satisfied to make them satisfied. You are not happy with yourself to make them happy. So love, care, and kindness start from within us. If we don't have it and own it for ourselves and have this relation and acceptance for ourselves, we cannot do it with other people around us. We cannot give it to other people around us. So that was about me and myself. One of the things I want to add, saying no is not a selfish thing. Saying no, it's part of your self-care. We all love to give. We all love to sacrifice things. And some of the people, they enjoy it because this is how they get their happiness, how they get their satisfaction. But everyone has a limit. Don't wait till you reach the limit that you cannot give anymore, and then you will take care of yourself and recharge yourself. Charge it all the time, recharge all the time. It's okay to say no. And people will not be mad at you. This is one of our assumptions. We assume that people will get mad at us. Sometimes we change ourselves not to bother the people around us. Sometimes we don't say no or refuse something that that hurting us just because we care about the people around us. But it's just our assumptions that they will not understand, or they will judge us in a bad way, or they will not be happy with us. It's an assumption because we never know till we try. They might be happy with it. They might be okay with it. But you will never know if you keep this assumptions in your head, saying that, no, they will be mad at you. They will say that you are a bad person. Thank you so much for this. I will have your Q&A for this, for me and myself. If anyone has a question before we start, we move to the next slide.
Nuha, we have one question here.
Yes.
How can we, it's from Hamad Atabi, how can we differentiate our emotions when it comes to being kind to ourselves, as well as avoiding the selfish trap at the same time?
Okay. It's not the selfish trap. It's not an emotion. It's a feeling, and you will find out when we reach there. The selfish trap, it's a thought that we have in our head. And to differentiate your emotion, because sometimes you will feel guilty. Yes, I'm telling you. And it's okay. When you start to practice the self-care and the self-love, you will be feeling some guilt. But by practicing it and by owning it, trust me, it will go. It won't last for long. Because everything we change in our behaviors, any behavior that we change in ourselves, there is a side effect. It's like anything in life. It has the other face of it. And the other face of starting a self-care and self-love is feeling guilty. Just bear with that feeling. Are you hurting someone? Are you stepping on someone's emotions? Are you stepping on someone's right? Are you harming anybody with this behavior, or with this no that you're gonna say, or with this love, care, and love and self-care and self-love. If not, it's okay to feel guilty. It will go by time. It will go by practicing it. Nothing is easy when we start it, especially when we start to change behaviors that we used to have for a long, long time. Most of our behaviors that we have, it's from our childhood. But this is how we have been raised. But once you are mature and old enough, it's your decision to keep this behavior or change it. So you can, it's not differentiate the emotion, yeah, Muhammad al-Athabi. I will say this in Arabic because this is something that my dad used to taught me, and he used to say it all the time. حبك لذاتك ينتهي عندما تصل اللي هو لمرحلة إنك يعني حتضايق الآخرين أو تتعدى على حرية الآخرين أو على محبة الآخرين. حريتك وحبك لذاتك ينتهي عندما تتعدى على حرية ومحبة الآخرين. يعني I'm trying to translate it in English. If anyone knows, just translate it and put it please on the chat. So this is how you differentiate about self-care and selfish. Once you step on other people, Arwa, you have a translation? Once you step on other people's rights and you're going to harm some other people, now this is a selfish. It's not a self-care. I hope I answered your question, Amr. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Muhammad. This is such a deep thought to wrap up this section with. I think we can move forward to the next section. And please, if you still have further questions about this section, we'll try our best to accommodate them at the end of the session. Thank you.
Okay, someone has translated, Abdurrahman. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Your self-care, freedom, and love stops when it conflicts with others' rights. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Exactly. This is what I wanted to say. Okay, our next topic is the living with the uncertainty. And this is what we are living in right now, unfortunately. All of us have been get affected with the new lifestyle, with the new situation, with the new the lockdown, the staying home for a long time, for a long period, with everyone, with the family, with the husband, with the wife, with the kids. طبعا everyone have perceived this period differently. But we all agree that it's something new for everyone. One of the things that will help us to live with the uncertain, it's our expectation, and this is what I have noticed with all this, through this period, from my family, from my friends, from everyone I talk to. Everyone have a different expectations, and each expectation, it's a disaster in a certain way that make you it's not only scared, it make you thrilled. So this type of period or this type of situation needs you to be more aware of what thoughts that you hold on and what thoughts that you let go of. More aware of, I know it's not easy, especially at the beginning, because we all panicked. I myself, at the beginning, I thought it's a lie. I thought it's just propaganda they're making. I couldn't believe that it's true. Till it hits me that it's true. So replacing your expectation with plans. We always have an expectation, by the way. Expectation will not stop. Even I myself, I know that expectation lead to disappointment, and I say it loudly. I say it to everyone. I say it to my client. I say it to my family, to my friend, but I still have an expectations on every and single thing in life. But the difference is, I know that this is an expectation. I change it. I change it to a plan. So instead of expecting things, or what if things happen, or what if, and the what if question that take us on a long journey, a long story, and from a story to another, from a thought to another, from a negative thought to another, change this to a plan. Put for yourself a plan how you're gonna deal with this situation. Who did that from the people that we have today? Who planned how he gonna deal with the situation? He sit and thought and think of how I'm gonna deal with such a situation. If anyone did that, please raise your hand. Maya Al-Hashim. Maya Al-Hashim, do you mind to share what you have done? Thank you, Maya.
Assalamu alaikum. I know what I did. طبعا I was sent to quarantine with uncertainty on when I'm gonna go back to work. So I decided to plan for this period. So I put for myself a schedule to follow in the next days. And I actually made the most out of my time. So I got time to exercise, read, develop new hobbies, and I didn't feel the pressure I thought I would feel due to the quarantine.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Maya. Thank you so much for stepping in and sharing your experience. This is exactly what we need to do. Instead of expecting what's going to happen after Corona, or what's going to happen next week, next month, what's going to happen in 2020, what's going to happen for our plans or what we have planned, make a new plan. Make a new plans according to the current situation, according to what you have right now. Because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we always want to know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's why we go and put lots of expectations and lots of stories. Try to prepare yourself for different possibility. What is possible? What can happen more than what happened? يعني خلاص يعني everything happened in those 3 months. We're almost reaching 5 months now. So what's gonna happen? Ask yourself this question: what is possible from now? What is possible today? I might lose my job. I might get infected. I might get sick. I might. This is some of the voices that most of the people are having on their head. I might give this virus to someone very dear to me, to my mom, to my brothers, to my sisters, to their kids. I might. Anything. But if you keep thinking this is the possibility that you have today, you will never be in peace with yourself during this situation. Because yes, as this might happen, it might not. I might not lose my job. I might not get infected and get the virus. I might not give it to anyone that I love around me. Nothing might happen. So it's our responsibility which thought of those that we hold on, that we keep and go further and go further and go further, and building lots of stories on that. It's our decision. It's our choice. So whatever is possible, make it, I don't like to say positive. I have to tell you a secret. I'm against saying positive and negative because we as a human, I believe, we need to be positive and negative. We cannot neglect one of them. We cannot just ignore and force ourselves to be always positive. No, this is unhealthy. Whenever we feel negativity, like in this situation, for all those people who came out and talk about positivity and how can you see things from the light at the end of the tunnel, or the full cup or the empty cup. No. Some people, they don't see that in such a situation. Some people are really scared. Some people are really terrified. You cannot tell them to be positive. It's okay to be negative sometimes. They have to reflect that to themselves, and then they switch it to something good, to something that they would love to have, something make them feel the peace and make them feel good about themselves and about their feelings. We cannot tell someone very scared, no, look at the positive side of it. If he see it himself, that's amazing. That's a blessing min Rabbil Alameen. But if he didn't see it himself, you cannot force people to be positive. You cannot force yourself to be positive. It's okay. Sometimes we need to be negative. We need to, because negativity, it doesn't come that way. It comes because there is some thoughts that affect things, our emotions and feelings. That's why we feel that way. We don't feel okay. So how can I feel not okay and pretend that it's something good? It's a conflict. You just raise a conflict inside yourself. So try to find the possibility that is good for you. What is good? What is the things that is possible and good for me in this situation? Like Maya, mashallah, she became she started a new routine. She created a new habits for herself. So she developed a positivity out of negative situation. She herself. Nobody asked her or nobody drove her, or she didn't drive herself. She wanted to do that for herself. Become a feeling observer. And this is something we always forget to do. How many of you ask themselves every morning or every now and then, how do I feel today? I made it as a habit for myself, honestly. Every morning I ask myself, how do I feel today? And I keep ask till I reach the feeling that makes me believe this is exactly how I feel. And after the slide of the difference between feeling and emotions, I would love if you start this habit. This is help you to reflect about your feeling, to observe your feeling. It's okay to be scared, especially with men. They don't always observe their feeling. They don't allow themselves, honestly, not all of them طبعا, most of them, or let me be fair, some of them, عشان لا يزعلوا. You know, they don't allow themselves to feel what they feel. And I see this with my brothers around me. I know they are scared to death. They are very worried, but they don't show it. They don't show it, and they don't tell it to themselves. They pretend that they are, no, it's okay, everything is fine, we are in control, we know what we do, everyone is safe, everyone is okay. You don't realize, guys, that you are harming yourself. You are stressing yourself more. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be worried, because this is how you give your love to the people around you. This is how you show your love to the people around you. How you tell them that I do care about you and I want you to be safe and I want you to feel good about this. I want you to feel secure by getting worried, and feeling scared about them. So becoming a feeling observer, even with women, some women, they don't show their feelings, and they don't observe how they do feel, how they really feel about the situation. And we need to get confident about our coping and adapting skills. How many times in your life you changed job or you changed school and you adapted and you coped very well with it and you got used to it? This is exactly what's happening right now. It's something new, and by nature, thank God that we have the skills, adapting and coping. It's just we want to get in touch with it. We need to enhance it in ourselves those days. And one of the main issues that makes us not feeling good about uncertainty is not feeling in control, especially the people who loves to control everything, who loves to know step by step where are they going, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next hour, what's going to happen next week. Everything, they have a long list of plans. They put everything on paper and they follow every and each step they put. Those people are the most people are not feeling well those days. So instead of focusing of what I cannot control, because there is lots of things that we cannot control those days, try to focus in what you can control. What's available for you to control? And try to control it. Work hard in controlling it. That will give you a satisfaction of who you are or how you do things, instead of stressing yourself and think about the things that you cannot control. Not anyone can control. Okay? So is there any Q&A for this before we move to the next slide?
Again, another great question from Mohammed Al-Ataibi. Thank you, Mohammed, for your interaction. As mentioned, human must have both positive and negative thoughts. Therefore, is it applicable for our expectations to be in both poles, negative and positive, so the plan can be obvious and clear to be set during the uncertainty period?
Wallahi, Muhammad, it's amazing if you have a positive expectations. That's amazing. That means you are not, your subconscious mind is not in control of your thoughts, because most of us subconsciously, we always have negative expectations. Or sometimes we have a higher expectations that lead us, especially from people. Because if you expect something good from someone, you call this a positive expectation. But what if that someone didn't meet your expectation? How would you feel about that? You will get disappointed. And disappointment, it's not a positive feeling or emotion to have. Okay, Mohammed?
Thank you so much, Noah. It seems that we don't have any more questions for this section. We can move forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we have one more question from Adnan Lasali. And by the way, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Adnan, who was a major part of the preparation and structuring this session. He's an engineer and a coach, so he helped us and Nuha to put things into perspective. Adnan is asking, hardship makes us stronger, and we just need to change our perspective.
Thank you so much, Adnan, for being there. I know that you are busy and you have classes, but you made it. That means a lot for me and Arwa Saraha. Thank you so much. Adnan was supposed to give this with me, and he was supposed to be my partner in this, but he has other thing to be busy with. Thank you so much. And yes, hardship makes us stronger. We just need to change our perspectives. Exactly. Thank you so much, Adnan. And this is something I want you to put in mind. I cannot possibly predict the future, but I can help in creating it. And this is the part that I love about this, Saraha. The difference between feelings versus emotion, the differentiation between feelings and emotion. As we all see, the emotions, it comes from the body, and the feelings, it comes from the mind. Who can tell me what is the difference between emotions and feelings?
Abdulhamid, feel free to start speaking now.
Abdulhamid?
You're muted, Abdulhamid. If you could kindly unmute yourself and start speaking.
Yes, I think feelings are experienced consciously, while emotions are experienced both consciously or unconsciously.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Thank you, Abdulhamid.
You're welcome.
But let me add to that. Emotions are is related to the body. It's related to our physical part. It's observable, like your face expressions, your body posture, your voice tone. Some of us also can show their emotions from when you get frustrated, you get a blood flush in on your face, you turn red, you start sweating. When you get panicked or you feel uncomfortable, those are the emotions that we get. Emotions are the same across all human and even animals. That means we can have the same emotions. Emotions come from our conscious and subconscious mind. Because it is physical, each and every human being and even animal have the same emotions, but they might have a different feeling. Emotions always forced us to do something. It drives us. Like when we get angry, we hit something sometimes. We just throw something sometimes. It drives your body to do something, to do an action, or even you just leave the room, you leave the place. This is what we call emotions. Let's go to the feelings. When it comes to the mind, feeling is the mental association we make or how we interpret emotions. That's why we might have the same emotions as a human being, but we might have different feeling for the same emotion because each one of us have different perceiving for this emotion, have different way of interpreting this emotion. That's why we have different feelings. Feelings can't be measured because it happens always in our mind, and they're always logical or irrational. Either we go logic or we go irrational. And this is always how we feel things and how we interpret the emotions that we get. Feelings always comes from our past, from our experience, from the way we have been raised, our judgment sometimes also affecting our feelings. If we have if we face the same emotion when we are a child, most of us have this. We get in touch with this feeling all the time. We face the same thing. Like if we get in an incident that we felt embarrassed, let's say, every time we get to that incident during our life, we have the same feeling. It's there unless we release it. And this is something some coaches do. It's remove the emotional blockage. Now we're gonna play a game. Feeling versus emotion. Here it says it clearly. So emotion plus thoughts equal feelings. The emotion is the one comes from your conscious or subconscious mind, and it's a physical thing that we have. When we interpret it with our thoughts, it gives us how we feel. Is there any question before we start our play? No questions? Okay, I want someone to tell me. خلاص هذه عرفتوها. Attraction is an emotion. If attraction is an emotion, what is love? Love is an emotion or a feeling? Who would say? Good job. Someone says both. It is a feeling. What is anger? Omar, love is an emotion. Omar, unfortunately, love is a feeling. Attraction is an emotion. What is anger? Is it a feeling or an emotion? Abdullah says it's an emotion. Omar says it's a feeling. May says it's a feeling. Anger is an emotion. So what is bitterness? What is bitterness? Is it a feeling or an emotion? Bitterness is an emotion, May says. Maya says an emotion. Who else? Abdullah says an emotion. Bitterness is a feeling. Omar wins. What is fear? Is it a feeling or an emotion? Fear is an emotion, Abdullah says. Who else? Fear, it is an emotion. What is scared, anxious, insecure, weak, rejection? Feeling, 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 feeling. It is a feeling. So I hope now we can differentiate between our emotions. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope now we can differentiate about our emotions and our feelings. So when you ask yourself in the morning, how do I feel today? Make sure that you state a feeling, not an emotion. What is blessed? Is it an emotion or feeling? Who can answer this? I'm asking to know على فكرة. What is blessed? It's a feeling. What can be the emotion of blessing? Content. Good job. Omar have another opinion. Blessed is neither it is a gift, but it can be. And Maya says the emotion of blessed is gratitude or peace. I would say peace is an emotion and grateful is a feeling. Adnan. Thank you so much. Any question for this, for the emotion and the feeling exercise?
Yes, now we have one question here. When
Yes.
and how the emotion can impact our behavioral feeling?
As I said, the feeling is an interpreter of the emotions that you have. And this comes from your previous experience, from your childhood, from the way you perceive things, the way you see things. It will impact your behavioral feeling when you have lots of judgment on yourself, or you see things only one way. You don't perceive things differently. I'll give you an example. If you like, let me think of an example. I will give you like an example, but it's a little bit, يعني, I would say embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed anymore about that. Like when I used to be a kid, I was really chubby. And all my family was very skinny and so fit, and they do exercise, and I hate exercise. I don't like to move, and I love food. And everyone was saying that this chubby girl cannot wear jeans. This chubby girl cannot wear something tight. So this is something I hold from my childhood for a long time. Now I'm taking care of myself and I'm taking care of my shape, alhamdulillah. But every single time I gain weight, I feel so angry of myself. I feel annoyed. I feel like I'm not feeling happy. I feel unhappy. So this is but then I start to reflect, and then I start to say to myself, okay, you have to love yourself the way you are so you can change it. And then I start to go in my diet and go back to my healthy routine. So this is how the feeling and the emotions can impact our behavior, because I start eating more. When I go in this circle, especially now on the pandemic, I started to eat more. So I gain more weight. This is how the emotion and the feeling can impact your behavior. Is it clear?
Thank you so much, Mohammed and Nuha. Another question from Abdullah. Everyone will express the emotion in a certain way. How can we control our feeling by not taking the wrong action?
As I said, emotion create motion. The emotion that will make you act. The feeling, it won't create emotions. You have to control your emotions, not your feelings. As we said in the beginning, emotions are consciously and subconsciously. We are part of that emotion that we create in ourselves. but the feeling, it's subconsciously. It creates itself. We don't have any part or any, we cannot decide how we feel, but we can change the emotion that we have. I'll give you an example. Like if you got attracted to someone, you got attracted to that person, but it's your decision to approach that person or not, to start have feelings for that person or not. So attraction is the emotion. So you have to control your emotions to be able to not to do a wrong action or a wrong behavior or a reaction. Actually, all the actions that comes from an emotion part, it's a reaction. So always tell yourself, am I acting or am I reacting? Because it's always better to act. And to act, we need to adjust. We need to digest, sorry. We need to breathe. We need to reflect of what's happening and then take an action. If we react directly, so this is a reaction. Abdullah, I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much, Noah. I think we are ready to move forward to the last section of our webinar tonight.
Type, I have something. I have just a question. I will answer it very from Salman. He says, can you please give an example for emotional intelligence? We hear of this terminology a lot those days. And how I said those days because I know that we are hearing so much of those days, and how and where we can use it. This is how you can, this is what, this is part of emotional intelligence. It's the big part of emotional intelligence is becoming in control of your emotions. And how are we gonna do that? I'll go back to this picture. So this is the emotion. So this is the body, and this is the thought. Once you control the body, you will be in control of your thoughts. Then you will be having a good result of feelings. How are you going to control your emotions? When you have a very healthy relationship with yourself, when you connect deeply with yourself, when you know yourself better, in a better way, know exactly what do you value in life, know what is your life purpose, and live your value and live your life purpose and serve and own what you love in life. This is how you can be in control of your emotions and or your thoughts. It's just being aware of you, of who you are, truly you are. Thank you, Abdullah. Now, this is the last subject that we are gonna go through. It's the mental well-being. What is the mental well-being? The mental well-being, it says here that it's to do with how you think and feel. For me, mental well-being, it's just be you. No matter who you are, just be you. Take care of you. Not feel shame of anything that you have in yourself. You don't have to be perfect because none of us is perfect. God created the differences. If he wanted to create the perfection in life or in the whole world or in the universe, he could do that. But he did that for a reason, to have the joy. So the mental well-being is just believe that you have it all. And believe that no matter what you cover, what face do you put, because we are very, very good in this, in wearing that mask that we don't show our emotion, we don't show our weaknesses, we don't show our how do we truly feel about things, we don't show if we are happy, unhappy, because we are scared of people judgment. We are very good of this. I myself, one day on my previous life before I become a coach, I was practicing how to put a poker face on my face, because I have a face that says it all. No matter what I feel, you can read it on my face. You can say it from my eyes. You can say it from even if I hide it, it shows. So till I love this on myself, till I start to say, I don't care. People were judging me with, you're being so emotional. You cannot control your emotion. You cannot control your feelings. You are not professional. Even at work, they told me that I'm not professional of not holding my face expression and put that poker face. I like those people who put it. It's so صراحة. They are very talented, and it's a strength that not everyone has it. But honestly, why would I do that? For the sake of whom I'm doing this? For the sake of whom that I'm putting that poker face and being someone that I'm not, and I don't like to be. Why would I put myself in a state that I don't like me? What I'm gonna gain? I'm gonna satisfy people who really cares about me and who really loves me, will loves me the way I am, will accept me the way I am, will be happy with whom I am. So the mental well-being, it's just be you. And here is some tricks that will help you of creating your mental well-being. Connect with people. And how are you gonna do that? It's always good to talk to a friend. And when you are not fine, tell your friend that you are not fine. When you are not happy, tell your partner that you are not happy. Share how do you feel and how do you what's going through you with someone that would listen to you, would listen without judgment, would listen without even giving advice, just only listen. Be active. Try to do more exercise. Try to do something that you love. Try to do. I previously said that I'm not an exercise person, but try to do some activity that you like to do. Like I'm doing more coaching those days. And this is the activity I'm doing right now in this situation. And number 3, it's my favorite. It's not taking notes, it's journaling. Journaling is one of the things that washes your thoughts. Not only venting your thoughts, it's clean our head. It wash our thoughts. And journaling, when I say journaling, please, please, please do it on pen and paper. Because subhanallah, the whole mind, when you start to when you hand the pen and a paper and you start writing, your mind and thoughts will be just reducing the tone of the voices inside and the thoughts inside and all the noise in your head, to the limit that they want to focus how I'm going to write this, what is the spelling of this word, is this sentence is correct, is this sentence is not correct. So don't do it over the tab or over the iPhone or in your notes. Try to do the journaling with a pen and a paper. It makes a huge difference. Journaling is one of the things that it's being you and you, just only you and you. Nobody's there. Nobody's listening. Nobody hears you. Nobody knows about it. It's just you. And keep learning. Learn something new. Find something that you are interested in and learn it. Give. Giving is something that I think especially us, whoever is there in this room today, giving is one of our nature. Giving time, giving love, giving presence, giving you to someone, just to be with. That's a giving. to save some times for your loved ones, for your kids, and spend this time and being present at that time, not only by physical present, by mental and emotional and feeling present. This is a huge giving to the people around you and the people with you in those days. And it will makes you feel much, much, much happier and much, much, much relaxed. So that was about the mental well-being. If there is, and with this one, we reach to the to end of our webinar for today. And I'm very pleased to have your Q&A. If there is any question that you want me to answer.
We have a question from Mohammed Latabi. What can affect our mental well-being?
You tell me, Mohammed, what can affect your mental well-being? Because what can affect my mental well-being will not be the same with what can affect your mental well-being. So you tell me, what can affect your mental well-being? What is mental well-being for you? It's different between each other. Each one of us has a different way of perceiving mental well-being. Yes, we say that just being you and be who you are. For me, it's like for myself, mental well-being, it's being in peace with myself.
Another question from Ahmed Al-Midlij. How do you measure happiness?
Happiness, it's something you cannot measure. And happiness, it starts from inside. Nobody can make you happy unless you make yourself happy. And how to measure it? You ask yourself, how happy I am from 1 to 10? How am I satisfied with the life I'm having right now from 1 to 10? If I say, مثلا, I'm happy, today I'm happy, if it is from 1 to 10, I would say 6. So I have 4 left to reach to the 10. What can I do to reach the 10? What can I add to my life if I want to be happy to the maximum? If I put my maximum as 10. This is how can you measure any feeling or any emotion that you have, like satisfaction. If you want to measure your satisfaction or your happiness in something, just put a scale, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 100, whatever scale that you want, and measure your state now and where you want to be, and then take the difference. How can you gain that difference? What can you do to reach and to reach the upper scale that you put to yourself? Is that clear?
And now an amazing question to wrap up with. Why the term drill a new well?
You wanna answer this, Yarwa?
No, I'll leave it to you. I'll do the conclusion.
Okay. Okay. So we were thinking about to name the webinar, and I thought that most of the attendees will be engineers. So I thought I want to click it with them. So me and Arwa and Adnan, he was there. We asked Adnan, honestly, what a word can be used in such a subject from engineering side, and he came up with the drill. And thank you, Adnan, for giving us this amazing title. Actually, drill a new well. It was Adnan and Arwa's creative way of thinking. فحبينا إنه we wanted to click it all together, because the well, it's the well where we can find water, and well, it's our well. Hopefully it was a nice drilling for all of you.
Thank you so much, Nuha, for such an amazing session. Would like to leave you all with the thought that if you are peaceful and equanimous with yourself, it will reflect on everything and everyone around you. We hope you take this opportunity as this experience as an opportunity for growth, and hoping that you'll promote this mindset with people around you. It was an absolute honor and pleasure to have you all tonight. We hope you enjoyed this webinar as much as we did, and have the most pleasant night. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And whoever wants to connect with me, this is my the mobile for the center, Kun Arabia. I'm part of that family. You can reach me on my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Nuha FY. Have a good night. It was a pleasure being with you tonight. Thank you so much.